So yeah, we can begin. Good evening, everyone. Sorry, good afternoon, everyone. It's not yet evening, though the weather looks like evening only currently. And welcome to Cafe. Today the session is very different. बहुत अलग है जो हमेशा होता है उससे. And I'm thankful to Suruchi Didi for connecting me to Prerna ji. Prerna is again from Bristol, UK. And first I'll tell you why this session. So it's all about art, and in India, especially in West Bengal, we have a lot of artists, and we all praise whenever we see good artwork. But even then, art has never been taken up very seriously. So even in school, art was a subject, but usko seriously kabhi kisi ne liya nahi. It was just an option कि अच्छा ठीक है, अगर वो आर्ट में अच्छा है तो आर्ट ऑप्ट कर लो, you will get better marks. But we never thought कि आर्ट को हम अपना करियर बना सकते हैं. Like हमारे टाइम में तो नहीं सोचते थे. अभी फिर भी बच्चे लोग they are more aware about all the options which art offers. But during our times, art was just another subject, and we never took it seriously. Though we all are creative, from the heart. बहुत अच्छा लगता है कभी कुछ create करना, कभी कुछ create करना. And I think every creativity is because we all are artists from heart. And today we have Prerna with us. So Prerna Chandiramani is a Bristol-based artist, but uske roots Indian hai. So she is a Indian woman, and we are very proud of you, PC. As Suruchi told me that she calls you PC. So we have another PC. There is one Priyanka Chopra who's making India proud, and there is Prerna Chandiramani who's making all of us proud. So she uses art to express her sense of displacement through her personal narratives. And she has been awarded the Printmakers Council Graduate Award, and recently the Peter Reddick Award for Innovation in Relief Printmaking. Frankly, Prerna, we don't know about all these awards also, that, there are awards for art which exist. So just a second. So today, we would like to know a lot more about art. And Prerna, your arts are also kept in the museum's archive, which is like, a dream for anybody who's into art. And they are at Victoria and Alberta Museum, and at the Center for Fine Print Research too. And Prerna, I have seen your work on Insta, and it was so different. I never thought कि art को इस तरह से भी use कर सकते हैं. So today the session is all about how we can use art in various forms and various ways. And welcome Prerna to Cafe, and it's an honor to have you here. And welcome Prerna.
Thank you, Kavita. Wow, you make it sound really huge. I am no celebrity by any means. Yes, I've got all these awards, but here in England, artists are really well honored and respected. And although they have to work very hard to get to where I am, there is appreciation, and the city of Bristol is full of art and culture.
Wow.
So before I start, I've made this little drawing, which is when I find that some of your faces are looking lost or sad, or you're completely disconnected with what I'm saying, then I'll just hold this up and say, come on, guys, you need to smile, cheer up.
Okay. It's very nice, very cute.
And if you are super confused and you cannot understand what I'm saying, it's just going right above your head. Then here's this one.
Okay.
So I'll hold this up to see if everyone is looking confused. And if you're not, then yay.
Yay. Wow.
So to start with, as Kavita has already said, my name is Prerna. So Prerna was a name that was given to me after my marriage. such a beautiful name. It means inspiration. And little did I know at that time that this is going to become part of my life, where I'm going to be inspiring myself all throughout.
Wow.
Whether I inspire others, that's still to find out. Maybe after this session, some of you can tell me.
Yes.
um, so my identity is that of an artist. I can safely say today, after at the age of 50, that I am an artist. If I were to ask you all in your mind to think of a word that describes your identity, what would that be? Just think, give yourself a few seconds to think about who you are and whether you are happy with who you are at this point. Uh, it can be a profession. You may be a housewife, you may be a mother, you might have all these relationships, but these are part of your identity. It is something that has been given to you. But what have you done for yourself? That is what is important. So for me, I have opted for art, and I have made art my identity. Now, I can safely say that, like many of you who are here today, I'm sure you are all interested in this subject in some form or the other. And as Kavita has already pointed out, deep down, there is a child inside us who is an artist and who just wants to come out. So, in some form or the other, whether you are an excellent cook like Suruchi is, coming up with these beautiful recipes, amazing food all the time, you all must be doing that for your families. Or you might be skillful in writing, you might be writing stories, poems, you might be even, making up stories for your children at bedtime. I couldn't do that. So, but there are other ways of doing it. You might be skillful in music, um, you know, so there's so many different forms of art. So let's start with how I got here. So at
Yes.
this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen with you all, and just share this little presentation that I have prepared for you all, and we'll talk through this. I can see a few of you on the right hand side, not all
Yeah.
of you, but again, if there's any questions that you may have during this PowerPoint, then save it. We will have some time in the end to
Yeah.
answer your
Or they
questions.
can also put it on the chat box.
Yes, you can. Let me find the chat box.
It's right up in the under those three dots. Mila?
देख रही हूँ. I can see all other things but the chat box.
So it's in those three dots.
Yeah, I know. I clicked that.
Okay, when somebody types, you will be able to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure something will come up.
Yeah.
So let's start with this timeline. As you can see, there's a lot of graphics going on. There's the map of India, which is where I was born, in Bombay, Mumbai. And I spent my first half of my life there studying. And as you can guess, I've done nothing but art. I've done commerce. Far, far away, it was about numbers, accountancy, and auditing. So this was something I did because, like many of us, you know how it is. Art is regarded as something for dummies,
Yeah.
the
So
last resort.
yeah.
Yeah. So this was also the situation in my household. I had a choice of doing either commerce or science, and so I did commerce, got my degree. But in parallel, my parents were very supportive, and they let me have my way as well. So I did interior design as well, whilst I was studying my BCom degree. So I graduated with both interior design and with a commerce degree in hand. And I wasn't happy enough, so I went on and did fashion design. Um, Partly because I think, again, I was getting married into a household where my mother-in-law was into sewing, and she was amazing at making clothes. So I thought, oh, I need to do something good enough so that, I can understand what she's doing and help her out, or she can help me out. And so somehow I ended up doing fashion design, got married, had a kid, ran a boutique as well. And it was going fabulously till my husband decided to move to UK. So shut down, pack your bags, and here we were in the United Kingdom. I had one more baby there, so now I'm a mother of two girls, 21 and 26. And coming to UK after having such a fabulous life in Mumbai, I had no family or friends here in this country at that time. So I had to start from scratch. Started teaching language classes. Um, did all sorts of different things, music, singing. Bollywood dancing fell into my lap. People thought everyone from India knows dancing. So here's a lady who's just arrived from Mumbai. She definitely knows how to dance. So why don't you teach us? And that is how it began. I started teaching Bollywood dancing for 12 good years.
Wow.
And was very, very fortunate to get a lot of interest in dancing from schools, from community groups, from um, you know senior citizens. So I've done classes for all age groups in all sorts of settings, and been interviewed by BBC, been in the newspapers. I mean, I got everything I wanted, complete celebrity status, as you may call it. So I did that for 12 years, and I was like, yeah, okay, I've given it my best. Now what? Uh, the dance scene was changing. There was a lot going on, and I thought, that's when I want to stop. This is how much I can do, and I've given my best. I've got everything I could through that career, um, all the appreciation that I could possibly get. And then I thought, I want to do something for myself now. Dance fitted very well with my children going to school. So I thought, now what? So I went into, sorry, I have skipped a screen.
Yeah.
So I went into art and design. I just joined a small course, and I thought, okay, let me see how it's taught in this country. And having done lots of hobby courses, like many of you must be doing in India, we are so lucky back in India. There are so many hobby courses that you can join, classes.
Yeah.
Every summer vacation, you can go and learn cooking and baking and painting, silk painting, making flowers, making baskets, gift wrapping, and all sorts. Like, there's so much to learn. So I was just like you, when in India, learning all these different things. And when I came here, I thought, okay, I just discovered this one drawing class. Let me just go there and see what they can teach me. And I went, and it was an eye opener. Completely changed my life. And from there, I joined a college, did a foundation course, and that was the turning point. And I knew that, wow, there is so much out there that I still can learn. And I thought I had joined all the possible hobby classes in India, but there is so much more. And I just loved it. It was like, I was like a child in a sweet shop. I wanted everything. And I carried on, did my BA, and from there I discovered that it was not drawing or painting that I wanted to do as an artist, but it was printmaking. Now, printmaking, many of you may not know what that is,
Yes.
but it is a form of drawing on another substrate like copper or rubber, lino, and then you transfer that drawing onto paper or any other material. And in doing so, you can make more than one image. Whereas in a painting, you just paint once on a canvas and you have one painting. In a print, you can make as many prints as you want of the same image. So I can see some of you are nodding. So I think you know what printmaking is, which is good. Are we happy yet?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So,
Prerna, I
yes.
have a few questions before you move on.
Okay.
So when you started your BA
Yeah.
in art,
Yeah.
so you were 40 plus?
Yes, I started that at the age of 43.
43. So, going to the college at that age, how did you feel?
Daunting. I was amongst students who were my daughter's age. And you can't imagine how that can be when you are in a classroom of kids who are half your age. And here in the UK, everyone calls everyone by their first name. So I had kids calling me Prerna. And everyone calls their teachers and tutors also by their first name. So I was calling my tutors by their first name, like Richard and Ian, James, and I was like, oh dear, how do you not say sir and ma'am? But that is how it was. I had to learn and adapt to this culture. So yeah, it was very challenging. I felt like I was almost competing with these young kids who knew everything, who were so quick. And before I could even pick up my pencil, they had already made an image, and I was like, oh my God, am I in the wrong place? You know, is this right for me? And should I carry on? Can I do it? But I think my love for the subject was just more than all these fears, and I just wouldn't let anything stop me. And I was like, you know what? Every evening I would come back and tell myself, it doesn't matter. I want to do it, and this is what is going to make me happy. I don't care if I am going to be with 16-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and they may be racing forward before me, but I will do it at my own pace, and I will do it. So that is what it was. I just carried on.
Very nice.
So, is there any other question?
No, go ahead.
Okay, shall we carry on?
Yeah.
Are we still happy, everyone?
Of course, yes.
Good. So, so this is where I was, having done a degree, a very boring degree in accounts, and then having, you know, gone to millions of hobby classes, done fashion design. I felt like I was a jack of all trades and master of none. So then this is it. I thought, now this is the time for me to become a master of one. And then I did my master's in printmaking. And I received an award for an innovative relief printmaking. This award is basically for one student, only one person gets this award, for doing something very different and unique in that particular style of printmaking, which is a relief print. So when I was doing this during my MA, I didn't know that I was doing something new which had never been discovered. But apparently so, when I got this award, I was like, wow, so I have innovated something. That's huge. So, you know, it's coming a long way when you join, you go back to education at the age of 43, and you're doing your master's at the age of 50, and you get an award like this. What more can you ask for?
Absolutely.
Isn't it? So that is it. It wasn't easy. As much as it sounds very glorified, the way I'm putting it, it wasn't easy at all.
Absolutely.
Art is not a subject which can be done with a few pennies in your pocket. It requires a lot of money, of course. So even to learn a subject like this, the materials are expensive. And the resources and the amount of research you have to do in your subject, it's just huge, and it's very underestimated by the general public into what goes into becoming an artist. So while people respect the medical professionals and the accountants and the engineers, Unfortunately, artists are not given that kind of respect and caliber, simply because there's no awareness. People are not aware of what goes into becoming an artist, which is a very sad thing. Anyway, so um, coming to my next one, discovering yourself. So this was me trying to discover who I was, and even honing down to becoming a master printmaker took me a while because I was exposed to so many different media and different forms of art that it was a difficult choice to make. And I needed to know whether I wanted to become a ceramicist or a painter, or just wanted to do comic books, write stories, write poems, make artist books perhaps. There was so much. But when I started making printmaking, there was some magic about how I could make prints, so many prints from one image. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. So this is what I would ask you all as well, to just go deep down and bring that child out and find out what it is that you want to do and what you're good at. Now, you may think that you're interested in art because you have joined 20 million classes like I did. But I would say just being interested is not enough. Okay, so there has to be something more than just an interest. You have to be crazy passionate about it, like really crazy, where you can forget about your lunches and dinners when you're making art. That's the kind of level of craziness. So that is what I would ask you to do as well. Just to find out, as a creative, what is the talent that you have cultivated over these years, which you are probably overlooking or underestimating. But try and own that, chisel it. Maybe it needs to be sharpened, it needs to be polished. So just do a little bit of research and find out where you fit. And then that brings us to, if you are going into education, then from there, where do you branch out? There are so many different careers. I've made a list here on the slide, which you all can read.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you all know what these words mean. But if you don't, please ask. So there's all these different fields. I won't say this is a complete list. There's a lot more than this that you can do as well. And I would say that, don't limit yourself to just becoming an art class teacher. That's the most obvious thing that may come to your mind, that, oh, I'm good at drawing cartoons. Maybe I should start teaching cartoon classes. Or I can draw mandalas, so let's try mandala classes, or something like that. Or Tanjore painting. That's good, because that's like you're sharing your skill. That's excellent. But what's more, you need to have some kind of a recognition for what you're doing. So don't limit yourself and don't stop there. Go further, take a step forward and take a leap, is what I would say. So don't hesitate to go approach museums and art galleries to exhibit your work, to show and reach wider audience, rather than just sticking to a small community where you're running your classes. Just take that extra step. So,
Prerna, somebody.
everyone okay with this list? Yes? Questions?
Yeah.
We have a question. Yay!
So, what is ceramicist and museum curator?
Yes. So, a ceramicist is somebody who works with clay. So, you're talking about making ceramics in the form of crockery, maybe, which is a usable item, but also more in the contemporary context where you make art from using glass and clay, a combination of clay and glass. And when it comes to a museum curator, now it's easy to make lots of artwork, but when it comes to having an exhibition, you need somebody else with an external eye to decide how to display this artwork and what fits where. So you might have a bunch of artists coming to you, each one with a different style of painting, but you as a curator are the one who decides how to hang this work. Whether you can hang a horse with a mourning, grieving mother, or a mountain next to it, or a seaside. So just giving you an example. But can you imagine a picture like that? You have mountains on one wall, next to it you have a grieving mother, and then on top you have a horse. Does it make any sense? It doesn't, right? It's a complete nightmare if you were to see an exhibition like that. So as a curator, you have got to have that eye to understand how you can weave a story through all this artwork that has been given to you for display. So as a curator, you will pick and choose what you want to show and how you want to show it. So that is what a museum curator is.
Prerna, can you give us an example for each of these careers which you've listed? What is the career option? Like, what can a digital artist do? What can a fine art painter do?
Yeah. So when it comes to digital art, now, as you can see, with this current situation of COVID, everybody is online. It's, all the exhibition spaces are shut, museums are shut. Everybody wants to do something that can be seen on a screen in the house. So you are trying to make art which is digitally correct and acceptable. So that is applicable to all the artists that are on the list.
Okay.
But digital art is something that you make using apps like InDesign, Adobe Photoshop. These are all computer software apps where you can draw and paint and create artwork on a computer screen without having to lift a pencil.
Okay.
Okay, so that's digital art. And people who have this qualification can possibly work with 3D printers in the field of medicine, robotics, all sorts. You can really go far and wide. You don't have to just stick to being an artist. You could actually be working with any of these fields, the computer field and all. So you could be designing parts of a component maybe on the computer, and that is, as an artist, you would be doing that digitally.
Okay.
Okay, makes sense?
Yeah.
A fine art painter, I mean, that's as it says, you are a painter. You're painting on canvases or fabric, textile, whatever, so that you are a painter, and you, as a painter, might be exhibiting in museums and art galleries. A ceramicist, again, you might be making sculpting using clay. So you can see one of the examples in this slide on the left is a clay figure sitting down on a plinth. So that is a part of ceramics. The painting underneath is done on recycled paper. It's a screen print. Then there's on the left at the bottom, you see blocks of wood which have buildings printed on them. So that's like a 3D representation of maybe architecture or building. So, there's, you may be an architect, you may be an artist working with an architect, but it's the way you represent that subject using your art form. Okay, so just that very simple example of using the wood blocks and screen printing different patterns of the buildings can be something that can be representative of the architect's idea of a vision of a township maybe. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Animation artists, you have the Disney Pixar films. So you have artists, animation artists who work for them.
Okay.
Illustrators are usually uh, artists who are good at drawing stories, storyboards. So you'll have lots of children's stories having illustrations and drawings from somebody who is qualified as an illustrator.
Okay.
Or even in the newspapers, when you see cartoons of the politicians and all, that is the job of an illustrator. Okay. Museum curator I've already done. Is there any question?
No.
Are we lost? No. Good. Is everyone smiling?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. See, I can't see all of you. You can see me.
Yeah.
So I'm trusting that you all are smiling. Yes, good. So moving on to the collection consultant. So again, this is like almost like giving an example of Christie's, one of these big firms where you have auctions, art auctions, and you have collectors coming in to buy expensive artwork. You could be a consultant to these collectors, telling them what is in the market, who's in the market, who's the upcoming artist emerging, and what they should invest in. So that is the art collection consultant. Exhibiting artist is somebody like me, uh, making art for exhibitions and selling. Workshop leader would be somebody also like me who is an artist, but in parallel running some uh, teaching sessions, teaching and sharing skill sessions. So much like a class, yeah, art class. An art educator and teacher is, as it says, you are an art teacher, maybe in a school or an educational setting. A studio assistant could be an artist who is still at his learning career. Maybe you're still at college and you want to assist an established artist. So you become a studio assistant by helping that artist make work. So that does not mean admin, but it is actually doing some artwork with the artist. Okay. Now it can also be, in my case, because I'm a printmaker, I work in a print studio. So I could also be a studio assistant in the print studio, assisting all the members who come there to use the facilities. So that is a studio assistant. I've been a studio technician myself. So that is like you have a dual role. While you are doing your own artwork, you are also helping others using the facilities of the studio. So that's just a small list of some exciting jobs there are in this field of art.
Very nice. And
Okay.
Prerna, in India also, do we have like career opportunities for these?
Yes, now I know in Mumbai there are quite a few art galleries where the system is slightly different. Here you have the artist who is responsible for uh, the framing and the hanging. There you have the curator who's responsible for framing your work. So there's a little difference between here and in India.
Okay.
All the other all the other careers that I've listed, they are there in India as well. You just have to do your research and find out what exactly you're interested in, because these are very specialists. And if you were to, you can't be an animator by just sitting at home. You have to be in a college, you have to be taking a degree in animation. And once you do that, the college or university itself will give you openings on where you can go and apply for jobs, or you will come across companies who are using animators, and then you will be able to approach them. So it's not difficult, but you need to be in the right place.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any more questions? Everyone is happy?
Aditi says that her daughter has completed product designing.
Okay.
What job area can she choose?
Now, product designer is basically you're getting a design degree. So you depends on what is your material and process. If you are a product designer for, let's say, you're making products in ceramics maybe, or you're making products which are household goods, then you got to think about who are the manufacturers who are, hiring such people. So I would go down that route and do some research.
Okay.
Anything else?
What are the
I can
different
see the
ways?
chat. I can see the chat. Yeah, I can see the chat.
What are the different ways to sell artist paintings?
Different ways to sell artist paintings.
Currently online, I guess.
One thing, yeah, definitely you must make a website. But the current social media that is most popular for artists is the Instagram.
Yeah.
So that is huge. And I would say, as an artist, definitely make an Instagram page and stick to that in a very professional way by not mixing it with any personal stories. So what I mean is, if you see my Instagram page, which is Prerna_Printmaker, I have images of my artwork and work in progress and my thoughts, etc. And it's only about art, and it's not got anything to do with, oh, this evening I met Suruchi for a walk.
Yeah.
So I'm not posting a picture about that. Or, oh, this is what I've cooked today for lunch. There's no picture of that.
Right.
So this is what I mean. So you got to be really focused. Use that page only for the purpose that it is. Yep. So I would say the way to sell is to make a website, make an Instagram page, and approach some art galleries, do some networking, because you can't get very far with just expecting your friends and family to buy art from you.
Yeah. And also art consultants, art collection consultants, they can connect with.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a whole lot of is another world. You got to just get in there.
Yeah.
Oh, where's my chat gone? It's just okay. So shall we continue?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's careers in art, and now we move on to art awareness as what art can do for you and for others. So basically, what an artist does is basically helps you appreciate ordinary things in life, which you may just overlook, or or you may feel like you're so busy in your work, you stopped looking at the sky, you stopped admiring the birds tweeting, you've stopped going out in the rain and enjoying the feel of that water on your skin. So all that experience, that is what an artist does through the artwork, and it helps you connect emotionally, I would say. Not only with your own emotions, but also certain emotions that you may not have experienced in your life, but you can connect with the artist because the artist has experienced that. So, that connection is made through art. So it helps you connect, it helps you appreciate and admire little things in life. It, it helps you understand that words and writing is not the only way to express yourself, because there are people who find it hard to express through words. So when they draw a picture like this, you can easily say what that person is thinking, or they make a picture like this, so you know what they're saying. So that's what art does. It can bring a smile to your face. It has a power to connect people and to help them understand who they are as well. So that is an artist for you. And to be an artist, as I said this earlier, it's not enough to just be interested and
Yeah.
jumping from one one art house to another, you got to be very, very serious and passionate about it. So here's an example of one of my artworks. As you can, I don't know if you can read in the background, there are some words. Is it clear? Can you all read? Is the picture sharp enough? Okay. Okay, so it's not a full sentence. It's just a few words which are highlighted here and there. But what it is this artwork came about when I had lost my father and I was grieving, and I was in a very bad way. And at that point, in my studio here, I have a page from the Bhagavad Gita which says, you know, whatever happens is for good, and what will happen will also happen for the good, and etc. etc. So, you know, that little verse, that little those words just stayed with me, and in my artwork, I started to write all that, because I think just by putting that there, putting it down on paper was helping me in some way. So that is how I was feeling at that time. And hence, this sort of artwork came about. It's in very pale, subtle colors. It has a solid object in a grayish tone, which is actually paper which is folded up. And it is kept there like a sculptural form against the background of these words. So what I'm trying to say is that art comes about when you are actually making exactly what you are feeling and not trying to copy someone else. Or not trying to just make something that is pretty. Okay, so it's not about just making beautiful objects. It is about making objects which are done with feeling and have an emotion connected to them. So that is the kind of work I do. It is about using my own personal experiences and translating them into my artwork. And I think the genuineness that comes into work that you make like that is the originality that you will get, because you've not looked anywhere else. You've looked inside you and you've brought it out. And it's not easy to do that. But I think for me, having been through 6 years of art education in this country, kind of molded me and helped me understand and express and bring that out in this form. So now there is a difference between art therapy and using art as therapy. These are two different things altogether. This one particularly, art therapy, is where you are being treated, okay, for a condition. So it's like a doctor treating you for a condition. And in that treatment, he is using art as a tool. Okay? It's just a method. So art therapy can be in the form of music therapy, dance therapy, or drawing and painting therapy. So those are the different types of art therapy. And it is proven fact that it can help with mental health, it can reduce depression, it can help patients with Alzheimer's and suffering with trauma, physical, emotional traumas. So that is where art therapy comes in, where you have somebody who's qualified, may not necessarily be an artist. Remember, art therapy does not mean you are an artist. Art can be a supportive element to you. If you are an artist, good, it helps, but that is not the only thing. So art therapy is a completely different qualification to go for. So just remember that it is not the same as being an artist. They are two different subjects altogether. So this slide is talking about the art therapy, which I've just explained. And this is where art is used as a therapeutic tool. This is, here in this image, you can see the artist is just drawing some scribbles. Yeah, it's just a whole load of scribbly lines on the wall. Now, that was the time when I was into dancing, and my tutor said, Prerna, you teach Bollywood dancing. Why haven't you thought of expressing dance through this art? So I thought, okay, but dance is already an art form in itself. He said, yeah, but how about translating it into a drawing or a painting? I was completely confused. I was like, how can you do that? So, it's a three-dimensional performance, isn't it? How can you stick it down on paper? So I thought, okay, let me see what I can come up with. And I took charcoal and I went on the wall and I started just tracing my dance movements onto the wall. So my hands were going there, they were turning, twisting, and doing all sorts of movements, but on the wall. So it was all restricted to sticking it to the wall. And drawings like this came up where they were all just, a mess of lines everywhere. But that is it. That was art in action, you can say. It was a drawing which was done with dance in mind, and then I took that into a sculptural form. So you can see on the left-hand corner is an orange metal sculpture, which is a reflection of one of these movements. So if you trace your hand around the shape of the sculpture, you will actually be able to do a dance movement. So your hand goes there, it turns in, it goes up, and it turns and it goes out. So, you can see your hands doing that movement if you follow the sculpture. So that is one way of responding to the subject of dance that I chose to do. And it was very therapeutic for me because I felt I love dancing, it makes me happy. And here I am making it in art. And it's the two best things in combination for me. And what more can I ask? So that was the way I put it together. And it was very relaxing and very fulfilling for me. So that's where I find it to be an expression that was very therapeutic for me, but not a therapy given by an art therapist. Okay, so just pointing out again that those are two different things. That's me. That's the end. And here's some more artwork from me. That's an enamel plate done on copper. That's a digital print done on aluminium. And that's a dance movement done on wood and screen printed. Yes, and Suruchi there is showing you one of my artworks as well. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen now. You can see my contact details there. I have my website on and my Instagram page. If you wish to follow me, please do. And I also have mentioned my email. So if, at a later date, if you think of any questions and I can help you in any way, please don't hesitate. Send me a line and I will get back to you, promise. Thank you.
Amazing journey, Prerna. And I think India में अभी बहुत time है वहाँ तक पहुँचने के लिए, because the kind of artwork and the ways you were explaining, I don't know, maybe I'm not aware, but इतना कुछ इंडिया में होता है क्या ये, I don't know.
Manisha is nodding.
So, Manisha?
I think Manisha wants to say something.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's unmute Manisha so she can
Manisha,
say something.
can you unmute?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Kavita, it's not like that कि यहाँ नहीं होता. We are not that aware and updated with the whole thing. Absolutely. Youngsters are taking these trainings and they are into all these things actually. Even my friend's daughter has created this printing thing. She did the fashion designing, and now she is doing this printing thing from Jaipur. All that Sanganeri painting, all the texture she learned in for texture designing, she's doing on paper, and she's doing a fabulous job from Jaipur. So it's not like that we are not doing, but as a housewife, we are not that aware of the whole thing.
Absolutely. So like the way Prerna you said कि वो dance और art को mix करके, those kind of things I think
people are taking music as a therapy, dance as a therapy to treat mental things, to treat depression. There are many things are happening around us. We need to search that actually.
Yeah, that is why Prerna को आज बुलाया है, so that
Thank you.
he can make us aware about all the art.
No, Prerna is inspiring us to do the thing at our age actually. People are doing from the starting of the career, but she is inspiring us to do it at our age, at age of 42, 43. We can think about it. That is the inspiration from Prerna actually.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Meenal ji also. Meenal ji की daughter and son दोनों art में हैं. मीनल जी आप कुछ बताएंगे?
I can see that Meenal has written her daughter is an art therapist.
And her son is also into animation.
From MIT and
Meenal ji, there is a lot of disturbance behind you. I think some music playing. Some music is playing behind you. So Meenal ji herself is a singer.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
fantastic.
My son is from MIT and National Institute of Design. And we are
actually, because of the disturbance, it's not audible properly what you're saying, but I could make out that NID Ahmedabad, they have done this, and your son has done the animation course. So
yeah, I picked up Ahmedabad as well.
Yeah. So I think people are taking art seriously as a career option also. पहले अपने टाइम में तो as you said प्रेरणा की आर्ट होता था, जिन लोगों को कुछ नहीं करना है they will take art as a graduation option.
Yes.
So yes, but और अभी भी बंगाल में जब आर्टिस्ट का बात होता है तो we जोक में ही अपने बोलते हैं कि वो कुर्ता और झोला लटका के जो जा रहा है वही आर्टिस्ट है.
कलकत्ता में कविता एकेडमी ऑफ फाइन आर्ट्स है, जहाँ लोग फाइन आर्ट्स पे पूरी ट्रेनिंग करते हैं. यहाँ पे है, अपने यहाँ पे people are taking.
Absolutely yes, but I'm just saying
the image is not. Artists means a different category जो हम लोगों को belong नहीं करते. They are not normal. मतलब इस ढंग का एक image यहाँ पे अभी भी है.
Yeah, that is true. Because as Prerna said कि doctors को जो respect है या chartered accountants को जो respect है, वो respect अभी भी artist को नहीं है. Frankly speaking, नहीं है. Unless you are, MF Hussain or somebody similar kind of a profile. Otherwise, not there.
What I'd like to add over there is that, for somebody as an artist to be successful, you might think that just becoming an animator or becoming an illustrator is enough. But you got to think also beyond that, that there is a lot of research involved in the subject that they are trying to animate or they're trying to draw. So for example, if there is a cartoonist for Times of India drawing political cartoons for them, he or she will not just be good at cartooning, but he will have done his homework about that politician.
True.
Finding out about the life story of that politician, finding out about what is happening in the story at the moment in the news, and then trying to put all those thoughts in that artistic visual expression. So there's a lot of research in the background that is involved. So as artists, all of us, in whichever field we are, there is a lot of research involved. So when you find people making landscapes, for example, They're making beautiful mountains and valleys and rivers, etc. It just doesn't come from the head. It doesn't appear from nowhere. They are going to such places, maybe taking photographs, maybe sitting there and actually making sketches, doing a lot of research, looking back at 50 years ago or 100 years ago, previous artists, how they have shown landscapes, what sort of colors they have used, what is the mixing they did, what is the layering they did, and then trying to bring that out in their own work. So there is a lot of homework done before one piece of art is made.
So,
So that is what is being overlooked by the general public. They think like, आर्टिस्ट क्या करते हैं, एक एक शक्ल बनाएंगे किसी की, या तो एक माउंटेन, एक झाड़, एक फूल पत्ता बनाएंगे और हो गया आर्टिस्ट.
Yeah.
But that is not how it is. Even to make a fool or a pahar, you have to do a lot of research.
And a lot of hard work goes into it.
Yes.
it's a storyline. There's a poetry. It's like writing a poetry. When you make a art,
Exactly.
it's like writing a poetry on that particular topic. There's a lots of
Absolutely.
research work. So it's
Yes.
Here, I would like to add that my daughter is 18 and she just appeared for her class 12 board exams. And she's from modernized school, and they've learned to do printmaking in the form of lino and various other forms.
Yes.
And she calls herself an artist. Now, one more thing I've noticed about artists is that they're good at painting, they love dancing, they love writing. So it's like it flows. It's not just that they like to do one thing. They're artistic in everything. So, and thankfully now she's got admission to LaSalle in Singapore. So she's going to go there for graphic designing.
I think that's the whole foundation, isn't it? When you become an artist, it has to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
You might, as a child, have just done some chocolate making, for example, or made some flowers out of stockings and ribbons, or been able to gift wrap very nicely because no one else in the house could do it. So those are all skills which you have, and you start polishing them by doing more and more, by learning more and more through these art classes, and that's how it begins. And then you realize that wow, I am good at all these things, so what am I waiting for? And at that point, there might be some of us who are good at even numbers, or have this academic brain which is fully engaged and wants to go for a medical career. So you will have doctors also who are artists. I've had people who have been doctors and nurses who have, for a good part of their life, and have given up and then have taken up art because they feel like now we need to do something for ourselves. वो हो गया, academics हो गया, life खत्म, अभी यहाँ से हमारी life शुरू.
Absolutely.
So there's all sorts of people who do it at some point or the other. It's not a big deal. And while in India it might be regarded as a huge thing that I did my second, third degree at the age of 50, here it isn't.
That is
I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, people do go back to education. My husband is also going back to education after having multiple degrees in his pocket already. He's now again going into studying robotics in September. So who knows? We just love it. Some people just love learning all the time.
And you have to be inclined towards learning. I mean, even in India, I know of many people who, at the age of 35, 40, they've gone in for more studies and more degrees. So it's not that it's very common, but yes, people do. But then you have to be inclined to be learning to do
that passion and sanak is required for everything, actually.
Absolutely, yes. That passion is required, and that cannot stop you at any age. Then
I have a friend who is 50 plus. He's just finished his MBA.
excellent. And I think when you are older, you are more wiser and mature as well.
Actually.
I like to say that. And then when you are studying, things go into your head much quicker because you know that, oh yeah, I know this is my life experience. I know it.
We have practical aspect with us, actually.
Yeah, that's right. So that makes it easy.
Definitely, I feel it's not easy to study with children half your age. It is actually very difficult.
Yes, I think it can be daunting. There was, like, as I said, there are some aspects of the course where you have to be working on the computer and learning some apps. You've got to be learning some programs which are just not very easy to pick up. You know, whatever age you are, some people just struggle with them even if they are much younger. So I too had that struggle. There was a 3D program, I just couldn't get it, and there was some mechanics which I was doing and I just couldn't get it. And I used to struggle. I used to sit there with the technician. I was like, I'm not getting this. It's not going into my head. And then by the time I did my MA, I realized I don't have to get it. It's okay not to get it because I don't want to be a mechanic or I don't want to be a 3D printer.
Yeah.
What I want to do, I know what I'm doing and I'm good at it. So I don't have to be good at everything.
Absolutely.
So it's okay. So there were subjects like, even in school when you're studying, isn't there a subject 1 or 2 which you just hate and you don't want to do?
Yes.
It is normal, isn't it? So you go in, you study, you have to be prepared that there will be some subject which you will not like and you may not be great at. But the overall picture is that that is where you want to be and it's going to make you happy. So go for it. Stick to it.
So Suruchi Di has something to say.
Hi Prerna, hi Kavi. I have loads to say about her. As her name suggests, she's Prerna. She's an inspiration for everyone, I would say. And she's my soul sister in Bristol and my bestie. तो ये जो दिखना इतना सिंपल दिख रहा है ना, इसका आर्ट वर्क है, शी हैज गिवन टू ईच वन ऑफ अस, एंड ये जितना सिंपल दिख रहा है उतना है नहीं. दिस इज अ मेटल प्रोडक्ट, यू नो, एंड प्रिंटिंग ऑन दिस इज नॉट एन इजी टास्क. And can you see the color combination?
Yes.
And I will share one of her artwork which was in prestigious gallery in Bristol. वो मैं WhatsApp पे शेयर करूंगी, यहाँ पे नहीं कर पा रही थी. And it's a beautiful piece. And Victoria and Albert is a very renowned museum in England. उसपे इसका आर्ट वर्क है. वो इतना इजी नहीं है जितना इजी ये बात कर रही है और दिख रही है, ऐसा है नहीं. It's a very very prestigious work and I am very proud of her. Like going college along with the grown up kids is not an easy task, and knowingly that everything has to be done by hand in England.
Yeah.
And one more thing, she has sent us this artwork. Can you see?
Yes. Just a
Very 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 nice and soulful work. And you know, अभी जब ये लॉकडाउन चल रहा था, इसने हम सबको ऐसे आर्ट वर्क अपने बना के पोस्ट किया है, एंड इसमें इसने लिखा है लाइक अ लेटर. इट वाज सो टची एंड या लाइक, एंड ईच पेंटिंग इज डिफरेंट एंड यूनिक. एंड ये खाली पेंटिंग में अच्छी नहीं है, शी इज एन एक्सीलेंट कुक and very good organized and multi-talented girl, I would say, and I'm honored to call as Prerna's friend. And सब यहाँ पे ब्रिस्टल में, you know,
Oh my God, this is getting too emotional.
बॉलीवुड डांस के लिए प्रेरणा को सब लोग जानते हैं यहाँ पे. You name it and people know that Prerna is a good dance teacher. And one more thing I would like to say, यहाँ पे आके मुझे 2 ही साल हुआ है and मेरी daughter was in food tech. तो प्रेरणा ने हमको ये अपॉर्चुनिटी दिया. मैं सोच भी नहीं सकती कि हम इंडिया में भी शायद ऐसा कुछ करेंगे. शी was away, she was in New York, and रची का फूड टेक का कुछ इसको प्रैक्टिस करना था. We don't cook chicken in the house, so she has given me her house key so that Rachi can practice her chicken का dishes in her kitchen. I mean, तुम बताओ कि घर पे कोई नहीं है एंड पूरा हाउस कीज ने मुझे दिया. ये बड़ी बात नहीं है. इट्स अ वेरी बिग थिंग फॉर मी, आई वुड से. एंड हम 2 साल पहले ही यहाँ पे आए, ऐसा भी नहीं है कि हम बहुत पहले से यहाँ पे रहते थे. So I have loads of memories with her, and I'm very very honored and blessed to have a friend like her.
Wow, really nice. Prerna, I think Prerna आपने बॉलीवुड मूवीज नहीं देखा है, इसीलिए अपना चाबी दे दिया इसको.
No, it shows that she's a good human also, actually.
No, और इसकी 2 daughters है. Both are as beautiful as she is, and both are multi-talented like her.
Wow, very very inspiring, Prerna. I think आपका नाम जो रखा है ना, that was the turning point.
I think so. I think so too. शादी के पहले नाम संगीता था, which was equally quite musical and creative. But I just felt that this just brought a change
Yeah,
into my life. And I must point out that this field of art is not for the faint-hearted. It involves a lot of hard work and a lot of support from your family. So while you may think that it's you're good at it, but to be good at it and to continue to be good at it, you need the time and the resources to be able to do it. तो वो अगर आपके साथ वो साथ नहीं है किसी का, तो फिर बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल हो जाता है. Or anyway, to earn money from art is also not easy. Let me tell you, in it's been only 6 years since I've started studying, so I'm not an established artist. I can't say that because I've only graduated last year from my masters, and एक ही साल हुआ है, एक साल से भी कम हुआ है. तो मैंने शायद ही कुछ 2 या 3 आर्टवर्क बेचे होंगे, ज्यादा नहीं. And for me to be able to sell on a regular basis, for people to be able to connect to my work, it will take time. And it is, as you will see on my Instagram and my website, it is not the box standard type of artwork which you want to buy for your house. It's not a landscape, it's not a portrait, it's not cats and dogs, it's not flowers and trees or mountains and rivers. It's very different. It's a very emotional kind of artwork, and you have to understand the story to be able to appreciate that work. And I would rather sell to somebody who will understand and connect with the work rather than somebody who will just want to decorate their walls with something that's beautiful. So that is just my personal saying. But again, pointing out, it's not easy to sell your artwork, and it takes a lot of struggle. So you have to be prepared when you go for this field.
Very true. So amazing session, Prerna. I think आज का session के बाद, those who have attended, we all will have more respect for the artists, definitely.
I always have.
Yeah. And no, we had, but we never think कि उस artwork के पीछे इतना hard work है. People think यार 1 घंटे में बना दिया होगा, 2 घंटे में बना दिया होगा. Why they asking for lakhs of rupees for the art? But so much of hard work goes behind every art piece. So I will just speak about myself. I don't know about others who have attended, but I will definitely respect more the artists. And thank you, Prerna, for such a Prerna full of session. It was amazing, and we hope to see you soon at cafe in Kolkata in person whenever possible.
Yay!
Yes, Suruchi has promised she'll take me shopping in Calcutta, so I will definitely come.
It's an artist's place. Kolkata is an artist's place, so you must visit.
Yes, I definitely will. Now I have this whole cafe, such a big family to visit.
Yes, absolutely.
Why not?
Absolutely. So thank you so much, and thank you, Suruchidi, for connecting us to a person like Prerna.
My pleasure, Kavi.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Kavi, I would like to say, इसका जो artwork है ना, ये artwork देखने के लिए go to her website. See, जो अपने लोग को ऐसे print making समझ में नहीं आएगा. जब हमें भी पहले पता चला था ना, she said she's into print making. First question is what is print making? ऐसे आपको, लेकिन आप उसके घर जाओगे ना, and आपको घर में जाते ही पता चलेगा कि ये किसी artist का घर है. And each painting says different thing, and very artistically she has put her paintings, I would not say painting, different technique on each wall. I would say.
So I do follow her on Insta.
Yeah.
The day you had sent me, I have started following her, and उसी से थोड़ा सा मुझे पता चला कि print making क्या होता है.
One more thing, Prerna, do you have that notebook which you made in lockdown? You can show that notebook so that they will understand कि घर पे भी print making हो सकता है.
Yeah. So basically, do we have time, Kavita? Can we continue?
Yes.
Okay. So when the lockdown started, my studio shut and I couldn't access any print facilities. Now to make a print, you need a press. And a press is a very huge, expensive and a heavy iron equipment which you can't have in the house unless you have an extra room to dedicate. So my studio was shut, all the facilities were closed for me, and I just had what I had in the house to do work with, which was just a handful of ink and small pieces of paper, uh, which I would normally use as scraps. So I thought, now what do I do? I'm stuck. I need to carry on working, otherwise I'll go mental. घर में सब लोग बैठे होंगे, सारा दिन खाली खाना बनता रहेगा, तो there is no inspiration there.
True.
So what I did was I collected the post that was coming through, and the envelopes in the post, I opened them up and I used the backside of the inside of the envelope to make my drawings. And this is what I made. So this is like a lockdown diary. This first page is a lino print that says lockdown, and for the cover I used an old print of mine. So when you open it fully, you can see it's like it's a print which is cut up. So with each page, there you can see now that's an envelope.
Okay.
Yeah, a window envelope. And I started just making my paintings and drawings, whatever was coming to my mind, different things, a view from my window every day where I sit.
That's so nice.
And one day Suruchi said, let's draw a mandala. So I did one.
Very nice.
I think she was having a cafe session on that. So she told us also to do it.
Amazing.
And
I love
yeah,
this envelope idea. It's so nice.
So I just kept using all the envelopes and started, making different drawings in them. I couldn't use them for printing as such, but I did a Henry Peace workshop, so I put some collage in there as well. And there's loads of pages, and it goes on. And this is what it looks like in the center.
Wow, amazing, beautiful. This is amazing.
So there are all these different pages of different envelopes, and each page opens to a different picture.
और आपने इसको सिलाई कर दिया ना? The book is
yeah, it's stitched in the middle. Yeah, because basically it just folds up.
What an innovative way to use envelopes.
Yes.
So splendid. Absolutely wonderful.
So I don't put everything on Instagram. I mean, this book is not there on Instagram, and this is just one of those things which I just did on the side. As I did all the postcards that I sent to my friends. There's two behind me as well.
I can see the background.
Yes.
Yes, the sunflowers and the tulips. Yeah. They have been reserved by my friends in Bombay. They said we want those.
Wow.
So when I go to India, I shall give it to them.
Very nice. Truly inspiring.
So yeah, and then the wall behind me, basically, I just try out my different ideas when I'm making work, and I just pin it up on the wall. And so I have like a whole bunch of things, and I have silly, you can see those plastic giraffes, which are from one of our restaurants here, which, little toys that kids get in kids' meals. So it's just stuck there because.
Is there a Eiffel Tower in between them? No. Between the stuff?
No, that's all my paper artwork there.
No, that is on top. Between two giraffes, there is something green like a triangle.
Oh, there's the two giraffes kissing each other.
Okay. Yeah. So they are looking like Eiffel Tower to me.
No, they're just kissing each other.
Very nice. Yeah. So we now know somebody, जिसका work museum में है. So I am actually very, very proud now. Because I never
that was a huge opportunity when the Printmakers Council said all the artists, please make one piece of work and it will be selected for the Victoria and Albert Museum. And I was like, oh yeah, of course, why not? And that is the opportunity. And I sent it. And I have that piece actually here because we made a small edition.
Okay.
And we had to give them 2 prints and the rest we could have for ourselves. So it was a very small edition of 5 prints. And this is what it looks like. Very simple.
Wow.
And what it has is basically in the background is a square which is printed from wood. So it has very fine wood grain in it. And then this embossed line which you see across is my dance movement.
Okay.
Very nice, Prerna. Excellent. And you know, Kavi, जब मैं यहाँ पे गैलरी में गई थी ना, like I would say lakhs of paintings were lying just like that in the godown. उसमें से select करना और select होना is a big deal. Like मुझे भी नहीं मालूम था, when I saw there, कोई like value ही नहीं है उनका, ऐसे ही पड़ा हुआ. I asked Prerna, just like that it was lying in the godown. उसमें से selection होना and उसके बाद उसका sell होना is a very big deal.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I mean, the method here for being exhibited is that the exhibitions tell you, the galleries will pull a call out online and they'll publish a date by when you have to submit work. Then there are 3 lines of selection. So the first line is done digitally by the judges, where they just look at your work on the computer screen. And if they like it, then you're shortlisted. Then the second round is where you have to actually take the work in and leave it there with them to select. And they will look at it for precisely 3 seconds. And I've been through that selection process, so I know that they only look at it for 3 seconds. And they will put their hand up to say yes or no. There will be about a panel of 10 or 12 judges. So if you get a maximum vote, you are in.
Okay.
So that's, if it is only a 2-round or 3-round selection, that's how it goes. And they have about more than 20,000 entries to select from. And they will bring it down to 100 or 150 selections. So if you are one of those 100, 150 from the 20,000 plus entries that they have received, that itself is a big achievement.
Absolutely, yes.
So, and you're paying to get selected, by the way. So it's not free. So first of all, you have to pay to submit,
Okay.
pay to be selected, and then they hang it. Sometimes they charge you hanging fee also in their gallery. And then they'll charge you commission if it is sold.
Okay.
So you have to consider all those costs in your price,
Prerna, one
along
more
with the framing or any other material costs that you have incurred.
To frame it by yourself, you forgot that point. Yeah, यहाँ पे ये भी करना पड़ता है. You have to frame it by yourself. Yeah.
Yes. So although we have professional framers, because I was in a college where all this was done and taught, I made my own frames as well. So I learned how to make a frame and made all different sizes of frames for my artwork. So that there's, you know, it's all about learning and putting all these things together and presenting it in the right way, then getting selected. It's a whole process and it's not easy. So, and it can get very, let me tell you, the first time I submitted to an art gallery, it was a very big museum in Bristol, and I was not selected, and I was doing my BA that time. And when I got a rejection on my email, you have had so much response and we could not select your work, I was so depressed for a few days. I was like, oh my God, am I in the wrong place? What am I doing with my life? Like, what is this? And then I just got out of it. I was like, you know, this is subjective. It's not necessary that what you like in my work, the next person will also like.
True.
So, you know, it's very normal for those 12 judges not to like my work. There might be 2 or 3 who will like it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I carried on and I applied every year to that museum. And the following year I got selected, and the year after, and the year after, and the year after.
Wow.
So after getting that first rejection, if I would have stopped, then I would have not gone through this whole process of getting this happiness of being selected 6 times after.
Absolutely true. So never give up.
You can't give up like that. So, but then art is like that, you know, you can easily give up, because if you don't get that appreciation, you just can so easily give up. So,
Yeah.
but you just don't. Just don't. Remember, don't, because there is something around the corner that might be good for you.
Wow. Very nice, Prerna. And thank you so much for all the insightful information which you gave. I think we, as well as our children, are going to be benefited from all the information which we got today. And truly inspiring, Prerna. Truly inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you, Suruchi, for all your kind words and for connecting me with Kavita.
Thank you, Kavi. Thank you.
And yeah, if in future, if you'd like me to run a quick session on how to make that lovely book, I can do it.
Yeah, wow. We would love to do that, Prerna. Let us
Yeah.
let us all collect those window envelopes.
No, it doesn't have to be window envelopes.
Okay.
Just any envelopes that you get of any size, any color,
Okay.
just start collecting. Don't throw away rubbish.
Okay, wow. It will be really nice of you. Very nice suggestion, Prerna, and we'll definitely take it up. We will not leave this opportunity. So,
That cartoon there is a caricature of my brother. Somebody has asked.
I
I have not
yeah,
done it.
I
It was sent by my bhabhi
yeah.
because
Very
she
nice.
felt I should have my brother's face in front of me, so I've kept it there.
No, very nice. Art can be, used in many forms, and today we learned just a few of them, and we hope to learn many more from you in future also, Prerna. So let's stay connected, and thank you
Absolutely.
everyone for joining in. Thank you, Prerna. Let us call it off now.
Yes. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye everyone.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.